Hi, my name is Alex, and today I want to talk to you about something that I'm super passionate about. And I'm sure any of you that have kids, grandkids, or nieces, nephews, any of the above would be extremely passionate about as well. And the thing that I want to talk to you about, that I'm going to share you my screen over, is about children's clothing. So, what most people may not know is that finding clothes for kids is, in my humble opinion as an aunt myself, is really difficult. And the reason that that's so hard is because of the fact that you cannot, for the life of you, be able to find fun and unique clothes that both kids and moms, parents, aunts, uncles, whatever may love. So, my goal as a company of what my biggest desire is to find products that allow kids and parents to have clothing that they love wearing, that the kids love wearing, and that you expresses the unique and fun personalities that they have inside and out. I want to be able to gain and have creators and be that their kids will be wearing unique pieces that other kids won't be wearing in the market so that they can feel special and so they can feel important at the end of the day to know that they matter. And not only that, but so you don't have to argue anymore about whether or not they get to wear that character shirt again that day. So my way of doing that is through my company that I have created called Radwear Kids. As you can see here in the example is my actual website that I have built for my product, and along with some examples of the types of clothing that I will be carrying. The sizes that I'm going to be carrying include anything from size 2 to size 10, 12, depending on the types of products that I'll be choosing and the types of things that I will be using and going into. So, but as you could tell from those products, they're not something that you would see on in Target or Walmart or anything like that. They are products that will stand out and are good, great quality with fun prints, bright colors, great textures that kids are going to be able to be excited about wearing and that their parents won't hate. So I'm going to share my screen with you again. And what I'm going to show you next is some marketing and sizing and key insights here. The venture of children's clothing is huge. It is almost $174 billion industry just in the US alone in 2017. So the availability that we have as a company to be able to capture just a small portion of that market is huge. So just because even if we took 1/4% or half a percentage of that 174 billion would mean that we were a multi-million-dollar company, which I don't know about you, is a dream for every single person in this room. And so there is a huge amount to be taken here. So, and I will be running this business out of Orem, Utah, where I'm currently from, based on the fact that A, it's where I'm from, and I'm very comfortable here in what I do and in the culture that I know here, but also because there are a lot of moms and a lot of children here that need this type of opportunity. So I have a couple of different customer segments that I would like to go into and chat with you guys a little bit about. One of the first segments that I would like to talk to you about is parents with children. Parents with children, as we discussed before, may have issues with certain things such as getting their kids dressed in the morning and having that constant fight or finding clothes that they even as a parent really love. So we provide a help for that, and that fits a customer desire there. Along with the same thing, very similar with grandparents and aunts and uncles. They may either be the really cool grandparent, or they may even be like the not very cool aunt and uncle or the not very cool grandparent. But what's amazing about our product is that they would be able to come to our site and find products that hands down every single time would allow them to be able to find things that kids will love and that they will want to see. Next are our customer relations. So how are we going to go about getting these customers that we need to be able to find? So a couple of ways that we're going to do that is, first, we have to get those customers. And some of those ways that we're going to do that are by having Instagram followers that we find through popular bloggers and influencers, where we will give them free product. And as a result of giving them free product, then we will be able to use that free product to them and give them a discount code to use so that they can promote our brand. Along with that, we'll do things like a Facebook group where we will offer very select discounts to, and then sharing pictures and tagging us online in clothes. And then as a result, they get a discount code just for sharing something that they already love anyways. Next, in order to keep those clients, we will have a loyalty program that gives them points for every purchase, meaning that they will be able to know that their purchases are actually getting them something back. And then on a regular basis, we will have new products available to them, hopefully on a weekly basis is what we hope for, along with having 2 sales a year on products that are going out of season, but we will only have 2 product sales a year. And then to grow, we plan on doing a referral program as well. So in addition to this, the next piece that's so important is once we have those customers and we know that we are using those customers, one of the most important pieces to be able to do that through is with your distribution channels. So here you can see the specific distribution channel that we chose is the online store, such as what I showed you before, which is straight to consumer. We will not be doing any drop shipping or anything like that. And the reason we chose this is so it takes out the overcost of a building, and then it also gives me control to decide how my online tool looks, how I market my company and products and services, and package my items for my customers and their customer service experience is all within my control, and I can decide how that goes. And you can see the basic layout and flow of that through the distribution channels there in this chart. So then also as a part of those distribution partners comes some key partners that we have goals to be able to, one is more of a goal that we would have long-term to want to be able to partner with. The other one is one that we will be using on an everyday basis. The joint business development one is a shop that I know and love myself. It's called Dressed in Lala, and they sell unique, fun, bright clothing for women. And I would, one of my goals is to do a joint collaboration with them on their products so that we can be able to do something like a mommy and daughter, or with another brand, do a son and dad, or a mommy and son matching set so that they can have coordinating clothing, which is so cute and really in right now and will continue to be in just because of the family patterns that have been created in our society. The risk with this would be for the financial risk of creating something that's our own, but the reward would be that both of our brands could create something amazing for us and for our customers as well. The other one that we will be using on a daily basis, though, and on a regular basis is our key suppliers. Our key suppliers being those people that we will be buying from day in and day out. And that could be anybody from an Etsy supplier that is a smaller business all the way up to a bigger brand like Hayden Clothing, Lacoste, or even just big brands that maybe like Kira's Kids, or other fun brands that you would hear about that you love seeing, but they only have a few pieces that you really love or things like that. So, and we would be able to bring those to you. So as a result of that, we also need resources, obviously. So as you can see here, there's 4 different types of resources. Those 4 different types of resources that would be included are your physical, such that we'll have an online store. We will have suppliers and material suppliers from shops and vendors online, me going to markets twice a year or more in Vegas, and then making sure that we have access to stores that have don't have a large number of minimums at the current moment in time as we're starting up. From there, the financial part, I've chosen to fund this myself, but in order to be able to grow this further, I will need more funding in order to grow that. But currently, I will be bootstrapping this in order to grow it to the best of my ability, and then hopefully take on funding from other companies to help, from other investors to help me to grow that. Along with that, the human thing, with human resources, I will currently just be running this myself. But down the road, something that's super important to me is having an amazing culture within the future employees that I will be hiring down the road as our business grows. And as a result of those things, I want a fun environment. I want a supportive environment, one that allows people to feel comfortable with giving feedback and supporting where they're at with people as within the workplace, and promote change and improvement and all those important things that really truly do matter. The last thing is intellectual, which we do not have anything of intellectual property, so that's not a concern of ours currently. So, some of the key activities that I would like to talk about here include two separate things that I find to be key activities. First, finding products that fit the brand and vision of Radware Kids, meaning things like in those pictures that I showed you that have things that are consistent with our branding, that are fun, exciting, have amazing textures that kids want to touch, feel, wear, and feel awesome in, and that the parent looks at it and goes, "That is such a cool shirt. Like if that was made in my size, I would wear that too." So that's one of our first huge things that would be a key activity for us, is finding those pieces that reflect that. And then the second thing is growing a community of the right customers that fit the brand and vision of Radware Kids. I know that as we bring the right products in, that and we put the right marketing out there, we are going to in turn attract the right kind of customers that buy into our vision and that love the vision of having unique clothes that fit the unique personalities of every single one of their kids, because every kid is so significantly different. So some of the important metrics that we need to make sure and look at while we are going through this piece is making sure that the financial costs are equated into that. As I mentioned before, we are making sure to bootstrap this portion as much as we can, including the cost of the website. I was able to build the website myself, and it is $45 a month for the domain and for the renting of the website currently to be able to do purchases online and things like that, which equals out to $540 a year when you amortize that over a year. Many of the other things we'll be able to get either for free or limited cost by trading for product, or by using my own time, or making sure that our customers pay for those things, such as things like the cost of shipping, and then my time to post and design the website, or to grow my online following is not cost, technically speaking, like out of my pocket, but it's cost of time. So the only other thing that it is the cost of starting, which I've chosen to allocate $800 to be able to start this business and had that set aside for my business. But then the amazing thing that I want to do is just continue to dump that back into the business until I start to continue to grow and make a profit, so that over time that amount grows, so that I can continue to grow more and meet the goals that we have as a company, which brings my total annual cost currently to $1,250, as long as I can keep within those numbers, which I anticipate that I will. If anything, it would be that the cost of clothing would go up, but then also that would mean sales would go up as our followers and consistent buyers increase. So the revenue as a result of that would, with every single clothing that I have chosen and that I will be choosing moving forward, there will be a 40 to 50% margin on every single product that I sell, which leaves more than enough cost for the overheads that we currently have within our company, and will continue to leave the appropriate margins for our company moving forward, as anywhere to between 30 and 40% is considered good as contribution margin at the end of the day, which is where we would be at for that specific piece. And that we would always charge shipping as well. Unless their order is over $100, then that would take a small piece of our revenue from that margin, but it would be very minimal for the amount of clothing for a $100 order. And then our revenue goal would be to break six figures in sales by the end of the first year that we are in business, which I know sounds like a stretch goal, but I know that as we consistently provide our customers the products they're looking for, we will be able to provide them what they need. There are 5 metrics that I truly believe that matter, which I will go into more detail so that you can see those things and how passionately we believe in those things. The first thing is conversion of a person on our website to an actual purchase. So them going to our Instagram, our Facebook, or even just online, and then going to our actual website and finding us and then going to a purchase. Those conversions and how that conversion happens is the bread and butter of what allows us to be a successful business at the end of the day. As a result of that, we have to make sure that that conversion is on point, and we fix the appropriate things that we need to in order to make sure that conversion is as good as we can make it. The second thing is the average purchase order size, meaning how large is in a monetary amount is that specific order that one person or the average person orders. Because the more customers we get and the more we increase that average order, the more, obviously, the more revenue that we make. And not only that, but we can build our following of our customers and the people that love and build and use our brand and follow those regular new releases that we would get on a regular basis. So that is extremely important to track that and know how that functions and works in order to make that the most effective that it can. The third thing is the number of real and active followers on social media, meaning that those that actually purchase from us, those that actually interact with us and that we build a community with online, being important so that we can continue to grow our business and be recommended to their friends and things like that. The fourth thing is success of online programs. By online not online programs, excuse me, online campaigns. By online campaigns, I mean things like sponsored posts, things like campaigns to be able to reach out to influencers, things like that, tracking the actual data so that we can turn around and then improve upon that data that we have and improve upon those campaigns or those things that we choose to do so that we can use our assets to the best that we can at the end of the day and get the best return on our investment on those things. And then the fifth thing ties in a little bit to conversion and things like that, but it's a more specific thing of how long people stay on our website or leave the website abandoning their cart is how it's often referred without purchasing. Those are important things to realize. Where do those things happen so that we can fix those things moving forward? The business environment that we are currently in, I would say, is quite competitive based on the research that we have done within the company. And so the reason that it is competitive is because, like I stated before, having a $174 billion industry, of course, it's going to be competitive. But as we all know from research and by taking many business courses and working in business and entrepreneurial environment for over 7 years of my life currently, that results in when you create a niche market that is a unique segment of that larger market, you are able to attract a larger amount of that market than you would have anticipated because you are filling a gap in the need that is not currently there. And the opportunities that we foresee as a result of that include things such as partnerships with other businesses to be able to have them create things just for us and our own lines, making our own clothing line, and then also exceeding six figures in sales within our first year as just the scratching the surface of what we are capable. So you may be asking, what are our strengths, our weaknesses, our opportunities, and our threats? So one of our strengths and one of our biggest strengths that I'm extremely proud of is the idea that we are going to be unique in that market, like I talked about, to take that small section or even a very tiny segment of that large market and take a small segment of that to be able to create a large business within that, which is a strength for us. A weakness is a small amount of capital that we're choosing to begin our business with, which is why we would like to be able to seek funding down the road from that, or be able to self-fund that, or find somebody that would be willing to want to fund that or loan that money or get a loan from somewhere else. The opportunity for us is huge because of the offering that we have is so unique. So our opportunity really is just ours for the taking. At the end of the day, that if we want to choose to be able to grow this business, we can, if we're willing to put in the time and maybe possibly some extra capital and things like that to be able to get to where we want to be. So the opportunity is quite large. The only threat that I thoroughly believe based on my research is somebody copying the idea that we have, because they know that we all know that when someone has a good idea, oftentimes it will get copied. So we want to make sure that we just stay unique and true to who we are so that we can avoid those threats and things that may be concerning. Now I'm going to be showing you my initial canvas, which, good or bad, is a little bit was concerning to me now as I look back at where I was versus where I came from. So as you can see here, the initial canvas is all picture, which is great because it helped me to be able to truly see where I was at from a perspective of where I wanted to be at, and I'm a very visual person. And so this really allowed me to see, like, from a visual perspective, where I wanted to be at from 50% profit margin, where I wanted my revenue to come from, what specific people and types of people and from what areas of social media did I want to be able to gain key partners from, or what customer segments did I want to go after, and what was I truly offering from a value perspective, which, as you can see, this is a great visual representation, but just is not very specific. So as thankfully, though, throughout this course, I was able to make some really great pivots. So we are going to increase the size on this so that you can see this just a little bit better. And so as you can see here, some of the key pivots that we were able to make include things such as we were able to get more specific on our cost structure. Like, how much is it truly going to cost us for certain things, such as the $30 a month just for Shopify? And then the shipping will be charged by the customer, but also the other little costs in there that need to be included that I went into more detail in before. Um, Along with that, we were able to broaden our customer segment to know that it's not necessarily just the one segment that we could go after, but many different segments that we could choose to go after, depending on the types of people that we're going after. And what was even more important was the age group of the types of children that they were around on a regular basis. And the third thing that we pivoted with a little bit was the value proposition of originally we just wanted bright, cheery, fun things. But what we found is not only did we want bright things, but we wanted things that were classic and flattering on all kids and that were unique and not just seen on every single kid in the neighborhood, as you can see here. So these significant changes and pivots have allowed us to be able to realize that we as a company can continue to make pivots in the right direction as needed with this model that we have created and the things that we realize are important. So what we've done also over the course of this process that I would like to mention is our customer insight, which as we have gone through and interviewed over 100 different people, we have found that not only is there a need in the market, but there is a huge want in the market and that people are willing to pay more money for it. On average, we found that people were wanting and willing to spend 25 to 30% more from what they were typically spending, which was more in the mid-range of things, not on the cheap end, like a really cheap Target or like Walmart, but like the mid end, like Carter's, Gymboree, that they would be willing to pay 25 to 30% more on those specific products in order to get something that they didn't have to see on their neighbor or at the kid at church as their same kid, so that they could know that their kid is different and that their kid stands out the same way that they do in their hearts. So we hope that you found this useful, and we hope that you were able to grasp how truly important this company is for moms, for kids, and for the aunts and uncles, grandmas and grandpas that love these kids to death. So we hope that you'll choose to continue to move forward to invest in us, and we look forward to working with you. And we hope you know at the end of the day that Radware Kids is the only way to go.